Hello guys, welcome back to Escape from Tarkov. Episode number 25. At the end of the week, a bit of an overview video of where we are with our PVE character. The last video we posted was episode 24, which is around here somewhere if we look at on our Twitch channel. So we have done 1, 2, 3, 4 more videos or streams. In the next one, we didn't make that an episode because they're all pretty long. They're 5 hours and a half, 7 hours, almost 6 hours, and 5 hours and a half. In this video, we have been messing around a little bit, but in the other videos, we mainly have been doing Blueberry peacekeeping mission. Wearing your Blueberry outfit, the UN blue helmet and the UN blue armor, and we call it the Blueberry outfit, the Blueberry parrot. That's how you look like. You're sticking out all over the place. You have to kill some scavs, 12 scavs on 6 different maps, I think, and we have been combining that with Shooterboard in Heaven, where you have to kill 5 PMCs with a headshot on 8 different maps. So we have been combining those things a little bit. That is sort of where we are. So we are streaming a bit longer streams, preparing ourselves a little bit for what is coming next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this thing, this PvE. This will give you a feeling on how Tarkov works. We have presented this series here in our PvE account. You're playing against AI. Also, the PMCs, the players, are represented by AI in that PvE mode. That also means that very often you are only fighting, you're the only one there who's fighting the bosses and whatnot. None of the other PMCs are killing the bosses. The bosses, if they are on the map, they're always still alive. So you fight the whole map basically. But yet, you can ensure everything, and seeing you're fighting on AI, they will also not loot you, so you will get all your stuff back, so it is easier in a way. Definitely. Doesn't make it super easy. It's not like you're gonna extract 100% of the time. You will get killed from time to time by own mistakes or by some stupidity from the AI, which also happens quite a lot. We're in the middle of a fight with some PMCs, and then you have partisans sneaking up on you and melee killing you 2 or 3 times. That's happened to us. Because you can't hear him, he has no footsteps, so yeah. A couple of those boss kills have occurred to us as well. So yeah, that's what's happening on Twitch, mainly. We probably, after recording this video, I will probably do an afternoon session as well on Escape from Tarkov on our PvE account. But, of course, there was a Tarkov TV with Nikita where he posted this thing. This will be like the new menu selection somewhere next week. So we have the PvE zone. That is what we are playing now. We are now playing the PvE zone for this character, for these 25 episodes that I have now posted for this series. It's the first time ever that I played PvE. It is also the first time ever that we played as a USEC, one of the 2 factions that you can choose. We have mainly been playing for 7-8 wipes. We have been playing the PvP zone, our main character, and we were usually playing as a bear. I don't think I've ever played as a USEC on my main character. USEC is easier because of, especially because of Lighthouse. On the other hand, I've noticed that when you play that character, it's very hard to get 30 round max in the beginning of the game, for instance. While if you play on a bear, you can get 30 round max from proper level 1 for your AKs. You play more with Russian guns, and when you play as a bear, which is the Russian militant contractors, and the USEC, United Security, is more the American side of things. Those are the big differences, but then on Lighthouse you have the USEC camp, where they are more friendly towards USEC. If you're a bear, they shoot you like from 500 meters away. And then there was supposed to be something similar on Shoreline or Terminal. There was supposed to be some bear camp where they're more friendly to bears than to USEC, but that never really, I don't know. They never made it work, I think. So at this moment, the USEC has a bit of an advantage, especially on Lighthouse. Other than that, you can choose whatever you want. Not much difference between the 2. It's a bit of different starting gear. As a USIC, you obviously play more with the American guns. You get some MDRs and an MP7, I think, as a starter's kit, while and an MP5 or two. While if you play as a bear, you will get some AK-74s and some PP-91s and an RPK-16, I think, or something like that. So more of those kind of guns. Starter kits is a little bit different, but other than that, they hate each other, more or less, within the lore, right? When Tarkov, when the EMP happened, electrified magnet pulse, everything went down, all the computers went down, and chaos is, and that's sort of where we are playing in. It's some sort of, after the EMP blast, some sort of zone, some sort of Tarkovian world that we are playing in. And there was a lore-wise, there was this group, Terra group. They had all kind of facilities doing all kind of weird stuff which nobody knew about. But then after the EMP blast and before that even, the Terra group has hired some private militant contractors, the PMC, from the United Security. So that's in short USIC. And then the Russian government did not know what was going on because it takes place in Tarkov, which is somewhere northwest of Russia and close to the Finnish border. And obviously, the Russians also wanted to know what was going on. And so they sent in also some private militant contractors, but then from the Bear side. Bear, what does it even stand for? We saw it in the first episode. You could read what it actually stands for. USEC is United Security, short, and the Bear was some sort of enforcer. The E stands for enforcer. Don't know exactly what the rest stands for. Battle group or something, I think. Battle enforcer or something. That's the BEAR, sort of. But most of the time we have been playing for several wipes in the PvP. Then about a year or two ago, they added PvE zone. Some people didn't want to deal with other players, didn't have much time to play, always losing their gear. So they made a bit of an easier mode where you only play against the AI. And for kills, like for PMC kills and so, instead of killing other players, you are killing other players, but they are represented also by AI. So they made them a bit more, they have better gear, better weapons, better ammo than the normal AI, but they're still AI. That's what you're playing against in PvE. In PvP, you're obviously playing against AI and bosses, but the PMCs are represented by other players. 10, 12, 14, 15, whatever, depending a bit on the map, how many players there are. PvP is more difficult. Next week, for the first time ever, we will have a PvP seasonal account. In the beta that we were playing before, we pretty much, every 6 months or so, we wiped our PvP character. Then the PvE, at first you couldn't wipe, later they made some changes. Now you can always go to the website for both of them and you can say like, hey, I want to wipe and I want to reset my account. That's possible. You go back to level 1. You can do that every 21 days, I think. Every 3 weeks you can do it if you want. Then they added a prestige system in PvP, which means that you can play till a certain level and so certain quests need to be done and certain requirements and whatnot. And then you can reset to level 1 and then you will be prestige 1, level 1. You can do it again, you can build prestige 2 and so on. Until at the moment prestige 6, Nikita said that he would do at least 10 prestige levels. I'm not sure how that's going to work in the future because from next week on we will have the seasonal character which will not have prestige system. That thing will have perks. So this is something completely new for all of us. A third character next to the PvP main character and the PvP main character. We will now have a PvP seasonal character. Different servers. You will not run into PvP players on the PvP seasonal or the other way around. But this one works with all kind of symbols next to it, as you can see, all kind of perks. Now, what are the perks? Those are these things here. For Season 1, Court Breach is the name of the season. There will be global perks for everybody. There is no insurance, so you cannot insure any gear. You will not get it back. There is no insurance, you can't insure. There is no founding rate for the hideout, so none of the hideout last couple of episodes, we were looking for all kind of things. We needed to be founding rate for your hideout. For the season, on the seasonal character, there will be no founding rate. Which means if you find something that you're looking for, you can put it in your secure container. Even if you die, you will still be able to use it in the hideout. It does not need to be founding rate. Handyman. I'm not sure what that means. I think that means that you can... I think it has to do with it's some sort of perk which has to do with the hideout that you can craft faster. That the hideout system also doesn't need 12 hours to upgrade for one of your stations. It only takes like 4 hours or 6 hours. So it will be easier to build up your hideout, not founding rate, things like that. Black Division is one of the perks. Black Division, that means that on certain areas, on certain maps, there is a chance that the Black Division, which is the highest tier of AI, which are now running around on labs at the moment with an event, they will come in. And I'm thinking, for instance, Lighthouse User Camp, they might be hanging out, or somewhere around Terminal or Resort on Shoreline, they might show up. Who knows? Maybe Weather Station, instead of the Goons, they have Black Division there, or Smuggler's Camp or so, something like that. There will be certain areas on different maps where they might appear from time to time. So with a low chance, something like the Cultists, or a low chance of them showing up, but they might be there. These guys, they are shooting with night vision most of the time. They're running around with night vision. They have top tier ammo, top tier armor and gear. They are not messing around with. And especially if Wedge and that's the boss of the Black Division, and he has some guards, which the guards themselves are bosses in a way. So yeah. Then we have seasoned PMCs. That means that we have some more perks and some more strength, I'm assuming, to start with, something like that. And there will be a armor shortage, which means it will not be that easy to get armor from the traders. Most of the traders will not sell armor, something like that. So if you find an armor, it's going to be more precious to keep it. So those are the ones in gray here. Those are the global perks will be happening on the seasonal character for every player out there. And then we have some personal perks. The positive ones are the greens and the negative ones are the reds. And these you can choose. You can say like, I'm not choosing any of those perks. Then it 0, 0, plus 0 and minus 0. It's still 0, 0. Then you just play like that. Then you only play with the global effects. But if you want some personal perks, you have something like juice time, which means you have to you don't have to drink that much. There's another one. Let me see if I can find it. Is it hypodipsia? Is that the one? Or diet? There are some things that you don't have to drink that much. You don't have to eat that much if you choose those things. But that's going to cost you some positive points. If you want to pick a few of these things here. Here you have Kappa protocol. If you want, you can start your seasonal character with a Kappa container, which is a 3x4 container, secure container. Could be handy to build up your hideout, since nothing has to be found in raid for the hideout for this season. But this is a very costly one. I believe this one costs like 21 points or something. Which means if you choose Kappa protocol, you're gonna have to choose 21 negative points over here to compensate for that. So that's how it works. You choose a few negative things that you can, let's say, that you can live with. Here you have a broken secure container, for instance. That means that certain items, maybe like things like meds or so, cannot go in your secure container. We're gonna have to see when it actually shows up, what it all does. He has posted it, Nikita, I think, has posted a tweet where it actually explains every single thing. There are already some people posting meta posters of like what the meta combination would be, but just pick yourself. We'll see when it shows up and we'll pick. So you pick some negative effects. You see the things that you can live with. Let's say you choose for like 10 negative points, you choose like some negative effects. Something that that you might break your legs easier if you jump somewhere up something. Something like that. When you choose that one, then you, for instance, cannot choose sturdy bones, because that's the opposite. Sturdy bones will have a less chance of breaking anything. It will make you more solid bones, let's say. But if you choose the fragile bones, then you cannot, of course, not choose the. It's one of the two, right? So you pick some of these things here, where you are. This one seems to be a very annoying one, where you have exhausted. That's like some extreme form of inertia. You're exhausted way more, fatigued way more easier. That seems to be a bad one to pick, but we will see. We will see. Allergic, for instance. You're gonna be allergic to 2 random items. You don't know what it is. It could be one of the stims or so, right? But it could be. You're gonna have to figure out which one you are allergic to. It's gonna be a bit RNG. You will be allergic to 2 random items. But if that, for instance, is a propital that you are allergic to, that means that you can't heal with the propital stim, for instance. Or you drink a water and you're allergic to water, then you can't drink water. Then you have to drink something else, which is harder to find. Things like that. But these are choices you're gonna have to make. You're gonna have to make some sacrifices to get some negative points, which you can then spend on the positive side, and make some faster sprints, or don't need to drink that or eat that much, or those are not something that you potentially want. You want more like something with more strength or more endurance or something like that. Marathon runner will be more endurance, right? A higher percentage of endurance, something like that. But you could, for instance, to choose to go with no flea market, which is a very drastic perk. It probably also has quite some points. If you do no flea market on the negative side, you can probably choose 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 things on the positive side to compensate that. So yeah, we'll see. Whenever it starts a seasonal, we're gonna have to make some choices here, and of course choose wisely, because you have to go through with it with the whole season. Season will be probably till December when season 2 starts. Of course, you can try some things out, and if it really doesn't work, you can reset your account and start again the next day or something like that. You can reset your account once every 3 weeks. So in theory, when we start a new character, you can change it the next day, and then you will be stuck for 3 weeks at least with it. So that is what is coming up, and that also means that next week on we will be playing the PvP seasonal character whenever it shows up. We know that the current event, which is going on labs, will stop on Monday the 27th. Does that mean that this thing 27th the afternoon that the game will go down and we will have seasonal in the evening, or the next day, or on Wednesday, or on Thursday? We will see. They usually announce it about 24 hours in advance when a game, back in the day when we had the wipes, usually 24 hours before it wiped, they announced it. Like, hey, tomorrow the servers will go down for 6 hours. Afterwards, the game will be wiped. Something like that. This time, they're not wiping PvE or PvP, because the PvP, your main character, will never be wiped ever again. But now they switched to a seasonal. I don't know. People like that in a way. There were some people who didn't like it, but the majority liked the wipes. So I think what it's going to do is it's going to do the PvP zone main character. Those people are going to move to PvP seasonal, and they will play every time when there's a new season. They will play till they're bored with it, and then they go play something else, and they come back when the new season starts. And the PvP main character, I think it will be some sort of only those that do not have that much time to play and who can't play on a wiped character, they will stick around on the PvP zone. But the rest will be PvE player, they will stick to PvP. They don't want to deal with other players, so they will stick to that zone. But the PvP zone, I think those guys, or most of them, are gonna switch to the seasonal character. This would not surprise me that in season 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, that it will just be PvE and seasonal and that the main character disappears. That would not surprise me. I don't know. We will see. I think it's going to split. That's the other. It's possible that it stays around. That then it will split the community over 3 zones instead of 2. That's even worse. But I don't think so. I don't think not many people are going to stick with the PvP. Most people liked the wipes. They will go play the seasonal every time. That's my guess. Like I said, it's my guess. We will see. What we have been doing over time, we will boot up our account, PVE, our playthrough account. I will show you where we are, the weekly overview, let's say. We have finished the peacekeeping mission. That was those streams that we have been doing. I didn't export them to YouTube because we mainly have been running around, looking for AI, and on certain maps that went quickly, on other maps it was a disaster. Which was the worst? I think we had to do 6 raids to get 12 AIs. They just did not spawn. There were raids where we walked around the whole map and the only thing we saw was the sniper scav on the rock, and that was the only kill we had. But that means that we completed some things, also compared to episode 24, obviously, because we did like 5 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours and a half streams. There's about 20 hours difference between episode 24 and this episode 25. That also means, of course, that we died a few times. And so all of our M4s are coming back from the Blueberry mission, and also the SR25. This is insurance that we have sitting in here because I don't have room over here for it, so I just kept it here as a second stash. Now at some point, after a day or 2, it will expire, so you will have to take it out at some point. We are also trying to get these gazelles to 50%, which is also not that easy to do, because we mostly get them back like this. This one has no plates for some reason, but we usually get them back like this. Where is it? This one here, where the front plate is completely broken and the back plate is still intact. And that's a problem, because the soft armor is hardly touched, the front plate is completely broken, and the rear plate is not touched. And that means that we are getting, we are here at 180 points out of 260. And we need to get that thing under 130 because it needs to be below 50% to turn it in for a quest. It is a very annoying quest in PvE. And let that be one of the requirements for the new seasonal character. We need to do Sue It Good part number 4. The Gazelle quest is Sue It Good part 2, and then followed by the Zabrello, which is this thing here. The same thing, we need a 100%, and then we need one below 50%. We have to do the same shenanigans. This one is easier, because the front and the back plate are the same, you can swap them over. So if your front plate is broken completely, put it in the back, put the back plate in the front, go out again, let the AI shoot you in the front, you will be below 50% and it is easier to do. The Gazelle is a problem. And the Gazelle is a problem because of this. They are different plates. Front and rear are different plates, you can't swap them over. Otherwise it would be doable pretty easily. You just let AI shoot you in the front, swap the plates, let them shoot you in the front again, and it will be below 50%. But this is a problem though, so we're gonna have to run up to a shotgun scav. As soon as he turns to us, we need to do 180, run away with it, and then hope that he shots us in the back. This is one of those stupid quests. Let's hope. They have reworked the quest system for the seasonal character, so let's hope they removed some of them. Let's hope that they removed some of them. And why do I say that? Because there are a few that I can immediately show you or name you that I think like, why here? This one here, Sales Night. We have been 10-12 raids already to Interchange before this quest shows up, which then tells you to go to Interchange and survive and extract 7 times. You have nothing to do on that map, you just have to go there and extract. Which means you have to go there, wait 7 minutes on that map and extract. 7 times. That is an hour of your time completely wasted for... We don't even need to mark anything or something. They need to change that this is either the first quest that you get from Ragman. That would make sense because you're gonna need 7 raids to get everything done on interchange. About 7-8 raids you can do most of the things on interchange though, if everything goes smooth. But now you first do a couple of raids and then you get this quest. It's quite annoying. That's the first one that needs to be adjusted. The next one, yeah, the regulars. The regulars where people are complaining about every season again. Starting with safe corridor, underground kills in reserve where the scabs are never ever spawning. We have been 5-6 times on that underground on the cages. We found 1 scab. And then the other funny one is pest control, of course. Same story, we need to kill 10 scabs in the pawn buildings. The AI are running around the helicopter, they are laughing and dancing and joking, but they do not come inside the buildings where you have to kill them. Now meanwhile they have expanded that area a little bit, that it counts a bit outside as well, but I think it still doesn't count on the helicopter. That's where the AI is running around. So you need to start bait shooting them and then hope that one of those AI comes in the building so you can actually shoot them and that it counts for your quest. Annoying. Pest control, safe corridor, sales night, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Annoying, stupid quests, they don't lead to anything. They don't contribute to anything in the lore or whatever, no, nothing. They're just annoying quests. Nobody likes them, nobody never liked them, wipe in, wipe out, complaining about it, never made any changes. They just need to remove those. Just make it 10 scabs on reserve or make it, double it up and make it 20 scabs on reserve. That's fine, as long as it's not 10 in the barracks or 10 underground where they never spawn. It's either that or they need to increase the spawn rate on the AI on those places. And the sales nights, yeah, that just needs to, either that needs to be the first quest for Ragman or it needs to go. Quest-wise, so yeah, like I said, we were doing a peacekeeper mission, which is one of those long-term missions. There it is. So yeah, you need to kill, you need to wear that blue helmet and that blue armor, shooting an M4 with a specific Gen 3 mech. So this is the equipment you need to use to do it. So you're looking around, running around with those blue sort of neutral colors as in real life world situations. But what it mainly means in Tarkov is that you're running around like a blueberry parrot and you stick out of everything and everybody sees you from miles away. In PvP zone that means you are a target from miles away. You need to kill 12 scabs on 6 different maps, as you can see. But we eventually, especially the ones on woods and interchange was no problem. You just go into the mall, I think we did it in 1 raid. Custom, surprisingly, we are getting a lot of scabs. We had this mission active and suddenly they didn't appear anymore. So it took like 3-4 raids on custom that thing, which is very surprisingly. Normally you can easily do that. You can even do Punisher Part 3, which we are doing now as well. Which is kill 25 scabs on customs. If you have a good run, you can do that in 1 raid on customs. So yeah, peacekeeping mission, a bit of a problem. And we're also working on Shooterborn in Heaven on the site. So we were running around with Blueberry with an M4 and we had a sniper on our back. And that resulted in Woods Reserve, Customs and Ground Zero being done. Reserve was quite a surprise, especially seen on PvP. That is one of the worst maps to do Shooterborn in Heaven. You need to kill somebody in the first 2 minutes of the raid. Because that's all you're gonna see from people, because then they dive underground and the rest of the raid they're underground. That's the reserve. Reserve's completely killed by the underground over time. That whole map, I mean. So it's very hard to get. On PvE, not a problem. Because the AI PMCs, they don't go underground. They stay above ground. We took 2 raids. 2 raids it took us to get our Shooterborn done on reserve. Which is coming from PvP, that is quite a surprise. That you can do that in such. On the reserve, on PvP, you sometimes need 10 or 12 raids to get your 5 kills. And that is not even exaggerated. Some people take longer. So there we're sort of halfway on our PVE account. So that's something that we will do in the afternoon when we start a new stream. Whether that will be episode 26 or not, we will see. If we are enjoying ourselves and then it usually turns out to be a long stream, then I don't export it to YouTube because then it's too long for YouTube. If it's only 2-3 hours, then we'll make it some sort of episode for YouTube. That's sort of where we are now with this series, by the way. So we're sort of halfway. We still have to do shoreline, lighthouse. Don't seem to be any problems with shoreline or streets. In streets, we already have 3 of 5. We just need 2 more. The problem that I see happening here is interchange again, because we play 10-12 raids, different missions we have been doing, running around that whole map. I have seen the first time we had 3 PMCs holding hands under the bridge on railway extraction. That's the only PMCs that I have seen on interchange in the 10-12 raids that we have played there. So where on earth we're going to get these 5 kills, I have no idea. We're going to have to listen where they are throwing grenades, where there is some firing going on. We're going to have to sprint to there and see if we can find them before a buzz or something kills them. It's very hard to find PMCs on the interchange in the PVE zone. It's really, I have no idea. No idea where they spawn, where they hang out. I have no idea. We have done several missions inside the mall. I have not seen 1 PMC. The only guys we run into is a bunch of scabs and killa all over the place. So I think there is a problem with the PMC spawn that they have on the interchange. And lighthouse, I don't know if it's good or bad there. We did a lot of marking the first 2 raids that we did on lighthouse. We have done all the marking quests, all the tanks, the fuel tankers, all that stuff that we had to mark. Operating room, jam it, signal, all that stuff, all done in 2 raids on lighthouse. But also there, we did not run into a PMC. We have been fighting AI rogues and normal AI scavs, but not PMCs. So also there, we're gonna have to see. But we have not played that much on lighthouse that I cannot say like, oh, they're not spawning there. I can't say that. We have not played that much lighthouse yet. Interchange, we did play quite a lot for several missions, and we did not see many. So I think interchange is going to be a problem for shooter board. But we'll see. So that's sort of where we are. Mission-wise, we have done those 2 the last couple of streams and days. Level-wise, we are going towards level 35, which is stage 5 on the flea market. The flea market, of course, has restrictions nowadays. You unlock it at level 15, but you can't really call that an unlock because the only thing you unlock is the provisions. Once you hit level 15, the flea market unlocks. Back in the day, when there were no restrictions on the flea market, that means that the flea market unlocked and you could buy whatever you wanted. That's no longer the case. Now you have level 15 is provisions, level 20 is the barter items, things like cigarettes and hunting matches, and so you can buy on level 20. Bolts, nuts, screws, all those kind of things, that's level 20. Level 25 are some of the weapon parts and keys. The normal keys, nothing the special keys or anything like that. Normal keys is level 25. Level 30 is some of these things, I think. Some of them are 25, some of them are 30. High value items like lions and that in that category, they are level 30. Then we're talking about lions, cats, also horses, unfortunately. It's like a 9,000 ruble item. It is also leveled to level 30. And then there are also some problems in such a way. This is a perfect example of it. Chumming. You need 9 gold chains to plant with this quest. Skiermar man over here gives you 4, which means you need to find 5 other gold chains. Where do gold chains spawn? They spawn mostly in safes. You can also find them in stashes or something on woods, but mostly in safes. What do you need for safes? Keys, because they're usually behind a locked door. When do the keys unlocked? Level 25 flea market. The gold chains itself is a high value item. When do you unlock? Level 30 flea market. So you need to find gold chains which are hidden behind locked doors we cannot get keys for until level 25. And you can also not buy the gold chains because they are level 30 before they unlock. You get this quest because they moved up setup way earlier. You get setup way earlier now in the quest line, and setup is followed by chumming. So depending on how fast you do setup, you can get chumming pretty early. Could be like level 12 or something. You can't get keys to get gold chains. You can't buy the gold chains directly because level 30 on the flea market. So yeah, they need to change something with this. Either they need to change the restriction on the gold chains, or they need to give, let Skier give us our 9 gold chains so that we can go plant them. We can put them in secure container and go plant them, that doesn't matter, but he only gives you 4 and you need to go plant 9. So that could be a quest. If you're a bit bad luck with RNG and don't find the gold chains, that could be a quest where you're stuck on quite a long time. But we'll see. I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but if not, I will do so now. For the seasonal, they have reworked many of these quests. So hopefully those are things that they will have a look at. Other than that, we have been buying and barter trading and things like that. We have 4 lucky scab boxes. Meanwhile, the last one we barter trade with duck tags. We had 40 duck tags. Well, we had more than 40 duck tags, as you can see. We still have another 50 sitting in here, but we barter traded 40 duck tags above level 15 for one of these lucky scab boxes. So we have 4 now. Normal barter items and whatnot. Green bats also there, waiting on level 35 before we can sell them. This is one of those high value items locked at level 35. There are some stuff here, bleaches and alkalis that we still need for Mr. Peacekeeper. Also, some of the propanes are needed. We need PSUs for Bitcoin farm. We have already crafted all the fabric, that is for Ragman, so we have those sitting. And then we have a box full of valuables. We still need a couple of lions for the scav case, also rollers and golden skulls. Private clinic is coming up. It's one of those quests where you need to turn in defibrillators and LEDXs. We found 4 LEDXs meanwhile on the map. And then some other stuff as well. GPUs, obviously, if we find them, we keep them so that we don't have to buy them to put in our Bitcoin farm. Bitcoin farm level 1. You can put one Bitcoin for one GPU on it. Then the station will start up, but then it takes you like, what is it, like 40 hours or something before you get a Bitcoin. But you can also fill it up with 10 GPUs, and then I think it's 26 hours or something. And level 2, then you need 25 GPUs, so then you need to add another 15. Then it will be around 20 hours that you will get a Bitcoin. And if you have a level 3 Bitcoin farm with 50 GPUs, then you get every 13 hours you get a Bitcoin. I think something like that. Bitcoins you can sell for about 500,000, or you can keep them because you need to turn 40 in, depending a bit on which line of the story you take, which path you take. Some of the paths require you to turn in 40 Bitcoins. That sounds a lot, but 40 Bitcoins is only 20 million rubles. There is another part where you need to spend, where you need to give Prepper 500 million rubles. So if you look at it from that side, then 40 Bitcoins is not that much. If you take the other part, you need to spend 500 million. So, and you can craft, once you have Bitcoin farm, you can make Bitcoins. Obviously, you can also find them, for instance, double black room in labs. They will often spawn on other places as well, marked rooms. So yeah, this is sort of our value box. And then all of these drives here we are keeping because that is our rotational thing for the cultist circle. We give them some SAS drives, SSDs, SMTs, RAMs. You pick a few of those items, that will be more than 400,000 value. And then you have a chance of getting a 6-hour run, which then comes back with some things you might need. If you get a 6-hour run in the cultist circle, we get, for instance, we didn't have to do anything for this quest here, Lend-Lease Part 2. We had a 6-hour run in the Cultist. It came back with a Vertix, a Custom, and a tank battery, I think. Which means we only needed one Vertix. The next day we got another 6-hour run, and it came back with a Vertix, a Mule, an Abdulbus, and a 3 BTG, so that we could also complete samples. And then a VPX, I think, which we needed for, I think for Bitcoin farm, something like that. So you're really hoping on getting a 6-hour run from the Cultist Circle. That is, of course, in your hideout, so we'll have a look at that one as well. I think we had a 14-hour one this time. I don't know if it's finished yet. Probably. We haven't played last night, so this is all from yesterday afternoon. So I think everything in hideout will be whatever we were doing. Crafting, upgrading, it will all be done. Yeah, we upgraded the Hall of Fame. We have now 8.8% combat skill bonus, and that comes from the dog tags we have in here. These dog tag needs to be the opposite faction. In our case, we play as a Yupsec, so we need to have bear dog tags. That is the opposite faction. And you need to make sure that the status says killed by, and then your name should be there. If you play as a bear, you need to have Yusec dog tags and make sure they are killed by you. And then the higher level you put in there, the more percentage you will get. So we have now here level 60, level 59, at 57, at 52, 44, they are decent, and then it goes down very quickly. 37, 25, 21, 14, and 13. Yeah, especially those last two we need to replace with some higher levels. But ever since we have that Hall of Fame, and you can see that right here, this is the bear kills we have, and these are the U6. We, of course, level 50 and 60 U6 here, they do not do anything. If you put some of those in there, then the numbers here will be red. So keep an eye on that. You want to have blue numbers here. If not, there is something wrong. Might be like one dog tag which is not killed by you, or it's the wrong faction, or something like that. So make sure you put the right dog tags in there. Other than that, I just put in my figurines here, but you can put other stuff in here. You can click on the left bottom of that thing here. You can click on that symbol, and then it will show you on the right all of the things that can go in here. There we go. Lions, cats, rollers, dog tags, all of these special items, high value items, and also left ski cards as well. Can also go in there. The one slot items, they are obviously small trophies, and all the rest. Like for instance, a lion is 6 slots, but it's only 1 slot in the large trophies here. So they are space savers over here, these kind of stations. They don't do much else. Yeah, they give you a bit more combat skill, but nothing else happening for your game itself. They're basically extra stashes. Like lions, 6 slot item. A rooster, do we have one here? Yeah, here, rooster, 4 slot item, cat is 3 slot item. They all go into these large trophies here. So that is like what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 24? 24 of those slots items that you can put in here. Small trophies, that's more like the rollers and so. You see, they go in there. Golden chains as well. Teapot, it's a large trophy. It will only be the 1 slot items, I'm assuming. So yeah, that is the Hall of Fame. Completely built now. Double wall. Earlier this week, when in the previous video was only like a little wall, I think we had. Now it's completely built. The gym is built. You can do a gym session there 2 a day. And then you get more endurance and strength that way. The gear rack we haven't built, not that interesting of a station. We have air filter unit, which will increase your physical skills if you put in the filter for 46 hours, 46%. So almost half of speed up leveling, basically. 50% faster leveling for the physical skills, which is your endurance, your strength, your vitality, health. There are a few things. You can always check it. And we also have the library, which does the same, but then for the practical skills, about 35%. The more you craft, the more your hideout is upgraded, the higher the percentage will be. It will be the same, for instance, with fuel, right? You start with fuel. The blue cans, you start them with like 12 hours, and the gray ones are 23 hours fuel, I think. But once you start crafting, and that goes up. Like here, my blue can is now already 13 hours and something. And the gray cans, I think you can get them up to 26 hours or something. That has to depending on how high your crafting and hideout skills are. I don't even know where we are when it comes to that. Those are the soft skills, of course. The last ones here on the bottom. We have crafting level 10 and we have hideout level 16. So, and that already increased the percentages quite a bit. Obviously, you want to get crafting level 51, which is elite. Then you can craft 2 things at the same time in every station. And if you have hideout management elite, then you can put in more air filters, you can put in more water filters, you can put in more fuel. Also, you will have 50% less fuel consumption on your generator if you get to hideout management to elite. That means max out your hideout and do a lot of crafting. They are sort of related, crafting and hideout management. They are going up equally. The crafting itself in your hideout, always make sure you alternate. In that case, what do I mean by that? Like now we have crafted a perfotorant, so next time craft something else. Always alternate between 2 of these things. That gives you more crafting points, and that is kind of important for your skills if you want to level them out. We normally get to elite crafting and hideout and metabolism and endurance and strength throughout the wipe, but we'll see. The hideout will also be simplified. Like now we had some things here. Can I show you that? Let me have a look. Not anymore, I think. Is there still something? Solar power, scap case? No. Can't show it anymore, I think. No. Yeah, like this one, for instance, right? We can't build a solar power because we need to have level 4 peacekeeper, right? So it's one of those linked requirements. And you have the same with stations. Sometimes you can't build a generator level 3 before you have security and vents level 3, for instance. Those requirements will be gone for the seasonal character. So if you have the items, you can build a station, basically. It will no longer be linked. Yeah, but no, you can't do nutrition because you first have to do laboratory. No, that will not be a thing anymore. If you have the items for nutrition, you can build nutrition before laboratory in the seasonal character. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, we have everything on max, I think. Med station, rest space, that's all on max. The only thing we still potentially could do is we have level 1 weapon rack. We could make it level 3 and make this a bit bigger. We have at the moment, we have a couple of F700s and an AKM on this side, and on the other side, I think we have all our shooter-borne guns. Yeah, we have all the MXLRs with scopes on it and whatnot. Also here, a bit of an extra stash. You don't need to put your guns here, you can put them on the weapon rack, then they're out of your way. And they're built. Don't need to take like here. You don't need to take out the pistol grip and the magazine to make them smaller. No, you can just put them up here as long as we have space here, right? Of course, we can make it wider, we can make it bigger if we make it level 3. At the moment, I'm okay with level 1. Gear rack is something similar, but then for gear. There will be some mannequin dolls there that you can give. You can give them a helmet, a headset, an armor, and some things like that. A rig that you can put some things in. And then you can just click on that and select one of those 3, and then it will be, you immediately have items on your player. It's basically 3 mannequin doll to stash some extra armor that you don't need to put it in your, like for instance, what do we have sitting there? Down below here. Yeah, we have some current and a slick, and these things I could put on the mannequin dolls on gear rack, and then they're out of my stash for instance. We give them a helmet, we give them some night vision helmets and some ear pierces or whatever, and then we have more room in our stash, right? Especially for standard account, that is quite important, I guess. We have the highest edition, we have 720 inventory space, but the standard edition only has 300 inventory space. So for those kind of people, that is more important, those weapon racks and the gear racks and so. If you have the highest edition, not so important. Shooting range, I think we can do one more level. Yeah, we can do level 3. We just have to buy or find the items and we can build it up, no problem. It will take 24 hours to build, but then it will give us these pop-up dummies, and then we can play around with it. Moving targets and pop-up dummies, and you can do some trainer. There's a trainer thing here you can walk up to and play around with it a bit, and then you can try to beat your high score or something. It's like a minute or two, and you need to shoot and get as many points as possible. You can try to beat your own record to see if your aiming skills are improving. Other than that, we have 2 key cases meanwhile. That is sort of what you need to get all the keys. We don't have all the keys yet. Certain maps that we haven't been that much yet. We can still definitely buy some. We have a bunch on Lighthouse. We have most of them on dorms. Streets, not really, because that's 3 rows and a half, I think, if you have all the keys. So we're still missing a few important ones. And we haven't been messing around with Spat Tour and Wet Job and all that stuff, because then we need more of the shoreline keys as well, which is also a row or 2. And then we're missing about 7 quest keys, I think, on reserve, but those are just expensive keys for 1 quest, which I always refuse to buy, and then just wait till somebody opens the door. That's a bit of a problem in PvE. Nobody opens the door for you, ever. So you actually do need to buy the keys. But it's just, there are 2 quests which are annoying as hell. Every wipe again. Disease history, RB KSM and RB SMP, both of those doors. One key is 400,000, the other one is 600,000. You don't need them for anything else except for this quest. It's a 1 million quest. Inventory check. 5 doors, one of them is open, the other 4 you need a key. RBOB. RBORB1, RBORB2, and RBORB3. 1.5 million if you want to buy them all for 1 quest. And yeah, there are some ammo and weapon spawns, but what weapons are spawning there? An AK-74 or something. You can buy that from Prepare level 1. That's a 30,000 ruble gun. It's not compensating for the 1.5 million cost that you have to pay to get these keys. So on a PvP server, you just go in there, late raid, and then hope that somebody opened the door. Pretty much, that's what you do. Nobody buys those keys. Either you find them, or one of your friends opens the door, if like, you know, or you have 1 key and your friend has another key, and then, yeah, then you might be able to get that quest done. Nobody buys those keys. But in PvE, nobody opens the door, so you're gonna have to buy the keys if you want to get those quests done. That is one of those things. You also never find dead bodies, hardly ever. So you never, even if you get like, you know, you forget a backpack, yeah, good luck trying to find a backpack. Unless you kill another PMC, you're not gonna find a backpack. You never find dead scabs, you never find dead bosses. If the bosses go into fight with the AI PMC, the AI PMC loses, the bosses are still alive. You will always be, if the bosses are on your map, you will always be the one fighting the bosses. If you want the boss dead, you're gonna have to kill him in PvE. I have not had 1 single time when any of the other AI PMCs has killed the boss. Every time we saw Killa or Reshala or Sturman or whatever, we had to kill him, or he killed us or whatever, but never the AI. The AI PMC, they are bait shooting. They're shooting in the air or something. I don't know what they're doing. Throwing grenades at each other, but one guy throws a grenade, and then the other one runs away. Then the other one throws a grenade, and then the first guy runs away, and they never die. They never die, basically. Only in the last 5 minutes of the map, then you sometimes can see that there is a dead body somewhere. But it is what it is. Anyway. Let's see what's going on. Let's do 1 raid and then finish this episode. It's a bit of an overview episode. Do we have any dailies or something that we can do. Oh, look at this. We have 19 minutes to find an info item to finish this daily quest. So with our scav, it's a fence quest. We quickly go to street. We jump in. We open a filing cabinet, we find an info item, and we run out. Should be able to do that in 19 minutes, right? You would say so. Info items, if you don't know what those fence quests, it usually subscribes a flea market category. In this case, info items. So you can always go to the flea market and see what info items are. But they are pretty much, the diaries, the SSD drives, the flash drives, SAS drives, slim diary, the normal diary, the Bikisi book, the battered book. Those kind of things are info items. If you're already in the raid, you can also double click on that item and it will tell you which category it is. But some of them are a bit strange though. Yeah, like for instance, you have the batteries. I think the batteries are in the building category or something. Because they are used to power one of the building materials, something like that. This way, yeah. There are some a bit in a weird category here and there. Let's put it that way. So at one point in time or so, you might want to check some of these things to get a global idea of which is which. Now, building materials are normally like the nuts and the bolts and the screws and things like that. But there are also there in that category or a few strange ones where you think like, is that a building material? Like a drill, you could say that is a building material, but no, that is then in the electronics category because it's an electric drill, something like that. So it's like, yeah. In this case, we should be able to find it if we open a few filing cabinets, which should not be, that's why I go to street, should not be a problem. There are like 250 filing cabinets. Well, give or take. I think we counted them at one point and we were at 140, but meanwhile they added a few new buildings, so we're probably somewhere around 200 filing cabinet drawers. So if you don't find certain keys or info items or whatnot in there, then I don't know what you're doing. Probably running a reserve. Still claiming that you will find more flash drives on reserve than anywhere else. There are still some people out there. Those are the old school OGs from reserve, right? They're still trying to convince themselves that the reserve is still a good map when it comes to loot. Those days are long time gone, baby. All the good military stuff is now on Lighthouse, no longer on reserve. At least with a higher frequency of spawning. And all the high value stuff is now on streets. So reserve is left over and nerfed down, and once on a blue moon you might be able to find a vertex here or there. But by that time you have found 10 vertexes on Lighthouse. So it's like, yeah. But some people are still claiming like, oh yeah, you need to go reserve. If you do 100 runs on the reserve, you might be finding 1 or 2 tank batteries. If you do 100 rounds on Lighthouse, there's a good chance you find 20 or 25 tank batteries. To give you one example. There are some specific items you want to do. Customs, another one of those. Now with the PKPTS room, they often spawn. That's a new room on reserve. That's usually how it goes. If there are new rooms or new maps, that's where the loot is. And with that new room on reserve, you often find a custom in that room. But still, does it compensate to the customs you find in Lighthouse? It's probably equal. So you find more VPXs and vertexes on Lighthouse, more tank batteries, and the customs are equal on Lighthouse than on reserve. Yeah, then it's still not can be convinced that the reserve is a better map than for that. What are we shooting? 919 PST single fire. Okay, well, we spawn in with a blue tape, which is completely useless. We can stop light bleeds, and we have gotten 90,000 for our efforts. Not the best spawn in town for filing cabinet area things. It's a good spawn for the flowers in the flower shop, but the flower shop also has a med crate which occasionally spawns lytics. These are just things that we pick up. We are using them for crafting from time to time. That is a level 4 armor. And some other bullshit that we don't need. We also have a fake helmet, by the way. You have a fast MT helmet, which is level 4, but this is the fake one. This is level 1. You can as well wear the army cap that would have as much damage protection than this helmet. Right. We're gonna go to the real estate building. Hopefully nobody's in the fuck store here. The real estate building has a few filing cabinets. We can go behind Concordia and escape on sewer manhole, potentially. Depends a bit if we find an info item in these filing cabinets here or in the duffel bag, because we also don't have much time. We need to be back out before the 19 minutes are over, when our dailies are resetting. So far we don't have an info item yet, so let's see. Should find one in one of these drawers here. That is in the others category, apparently. That's electronics, more than likely. Electronics. There we go. That should be an info item. Info item. We only needed one, I think. Yep, found the info item. Now we just need to extract with it. Good. Let's get out of here. Caban and his boys are having a field day again, but it's all fake. What do I mean by that is you can go there, trust me, Caban will still be alive. And so will every guard. And even the PMCs will still be alive, because for somehow or another they run away from each other's nades, and a lot of explosions happening, but nobody dies. Unless you kill them. We are not in good shape here though. With our single fire 919 PST. Because behind Concordia here, underground security and stuff like that, there's usually a duo or a trio of PMCs hanging out. With this pisspot banana mag here, killing 3 PMCs. With the ammo we have here, not likely. They're usually hanging out here though. We have to go through this building. They are sort of fighting the boss, but they are not really. They're not in here, that's where usually they're hanging out. Also not in the barber shop, good. Not in the underground. Okay. No, we should be good if they're not in the playground here. Did they eventually move? There are usually some PMCs hanging out here though. Yeah, we got 2 of our 3 shooter bonds here the other day behind new gas. That needs to go because we need those. We need those for our Bitcoin farm. We need 10 of them. We only have 8. They're shooting in the air again. They're bait shooting them. They want you to come there. Is that 855A1? That is 855A1. Well, none of these doors are Concordia 63, 64, 64 office. Don't have the keys, but we can check here for some bitcoins. Oh. What is this? Abdulbus 2. That's a stim. Which apparently we didn't have yet. I thought we had all the stim by now, but apparently not. Because we had to examine this one. And we'll check this one for a Bitcoin. Nothing. Okay. Break the window and out. That's our daily done. We checked a few high value spawns which are in the open, let's say. There are a bunch here in Concordia if you have the keys, but then you need Cinema, Concordia 8, Concordia 34, Concordia 63, Concordia 64, Concordia 64 office. Those are 6 keys in this building, and then underground Concordia security. They all have high value spawns. Yeah, we did the Concordia run the other day. We came out with 1.8 million. Pretty much GPUs, lions, cats, roosters, all that kind of stuff you find in those rooms very often. Let's see. That can go there and there. This is number 9. One more. And then we can do, because those are the ones that we need to find in raid. Let's see, that goes in, no, that's the wrong box. This one, splint over there. Apparently we did not have an Abdulbus 2 yet. I like to keep one of every stim, and the reason we do that is for dailies. Sometimes you need a stim to turn in, and we have 2 AHF1s and 3 BTGs because we still need one for colleagues part 3. There's not just random stuff in those boxes, they are organized. I like to have things organized from the beginning. That might take a bit of time from time to time, but that is something that we do have. That is time. We will sell this, and the rest we will just sell to Mr. Fence himself, except for this, which goes to therapist, more money, and we actually need the power cords. There we go. Sell it all to Fence. Done. And now we turn in the quest. He doesn't even want the info item. When you have a find and extract for Fence, he doesn't want the item. You just need to find it and extract with it, and that's good. And you can keep the item. Like the diary, we could just keep that. He's just happy that you picked it up and that it's not longer on his map. There we go. Well, and then he will answer you with good. Mr. Fence is a man of little words. And then it gives you a few €100 for it usually. 168 in this case. Yeah, it was also a very quick key. €2,300. We're slightly building it up. We need to get to 25,000 for the solar power. We also already spent $25,000 the other day on the air filter unit. That's why you need to do from time to time some money runs, which we actually haven't done yet. We just survived with what we had. And that of course has to do with, you keep alive in this game, in a way, in the PvE. Because like all of this, right, like we did Blueberry with the M4s the other day. So if I now check my my prepper guy, eventually we died a few times, but all of those M4s that we used on that Peacekeeper mission, they are now sitting in our stash here. There they are. 1, 2, 3 M4s. 5 even. SR25, that's a test drive gun. Where we died yesterday just before our last kill. So we have to do that today as well. Another Gazelle. Yeah, we have 5 Gazelles in rotation. 1, 2, 3. One is on our character and then that one. This one doesn't have any plates in it. So this one I'm going to get rid of, I think. Because how on earth am I going to get this thing on 77 or lower? It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. So we're gonna sell that broken stuff here. This one doesn't even have plates, so which means we can also not let them shoot us in the back plate because there are no plates in it. How does that work? Does the stupid AI have they looted my plates? I'm starting to think so. Because all the other Gazelles that we have here, yeah, the others all have plates, huh? Okay, we can maybe play around with that though. What is the back plate, which is the broken? What is this? 51. 55, great. 43. But this has been repaired. Oh, Jesus Christ. This one is 43 out of 55. Okay, moment. We put that one in there. Oh, no, we're not there yet. Now we have 170 out of 250. Well, that's already 15 points lower than it was. Yeah, we're gonna have to face somebody or something and let them shoot us. This plate needs to go to... If this plate goes to 0, we are there. Well, sorta. Because if this place goes to 0, then we are on 130. And we need to have 129 or lower. So then we need to hope that they at least hit 1 or 2 points on the soft armor as well. This is a whole operation, I'm telling you. It's a whole operation to get that thing. And of course he doesn't want it, but Vince will take it. There we go. He doesn't mind if it's no plates. Vince is the black market guy. He buys everything from us. I think we're gonna leave it at this. We'll keep the rest for the next stream/episode. I don't know yet if we make an episode of it. We also need to accept whatever happened here overnight. I don't even know what I was doing there. Just in time, we have returned, because that is the signal for our dailies resetting. So we just completed that quest just in time. A minute or two spare time I think we had, but not much more. What are we even doing here? Okay, that's good. Quartz into wires. Let's do that. So I think what we did here is we crafted our capacitors. So now we are crafting the wires. Then we only have to buy some of the metal parts, and then the relays maybe. And then meanwhile we can look for some computers. We need to go computer hunting anyway to get the last PSU. We need some power cords here. That's 5, and I think we need a bunch here. No, PSU, Bitcoin farm. Clicked on the wrong thing. Yeah, we need 15 here. So yeah, I need 5 for shooting range and 15 cores for Bitcoin. That's 20 cores. They're going about 70,000, I think. So it's like 1.4 million for the power cords. We need to go find some power cords in computers. I'm not gonna pay 1.4 million on the market for them. We can find them. We need one more PSU because from all of these items, we need only the PSUs, the power supply units here. They need to be found in rate. The rest, in theory, we could buy. Although the VPX is a high value item, which is probably level 35, if not 40. It's level 35. It's about 200,000. We have one sitting, but we need another one. We need 10 T-plugs. That's about 200. So that's 400. And then some CPU fans. It's about 100. So that's 500,000 plus 15 power cores. Yeah. That's 1,000,005, 1,000,006, something like that. If we have to buy all of these items, that's not gonna happen. So we're gonna run some streets computer runs and find the PSUs and the CPU fans and a bunch of these power cores. And we'll do some toolboxes in between that we can find the T-plugs. So yeah, we're gonna save a lot of that money. Pretty much. What are we doing here? I have no idea. We have a super water and a couple of these things. Like for instance here, if you have hideout, elite hideout, you can put, you will have 3 slots here for water filters. Like this one, we need 4 hours and a bit to craft this thing, and it only has 3 hours of water, so you need to keep an eye on it. But if you have 2 slots, then you can put another one in the slot next to it, and then it will never run out. If one is empty, then you fill it up with a new one. This is a blue blood that we have crafted. Yeah, we will see when we start the episode. One of these I can immediately see we can do an SJ6. 2 crafts. That's 250,000 right there. Don't know what we're gonna do in laboratory. And here we crafted some energy drinks, which means we're gonna buy a cake tape. Also expensive. Oh yeah, we're not making any profit on any of this in nutrition. This is just personal use. And we're crafting 2 different things. That's the thing here. Energy drinks, and then the next raid, the next craft we will do water, and we switch those 2 up in combination with sugar. So those 3 we are alternating the whole time. Don't make any money from that, but we need the sugar to craft the moonshine. The boost generator is upgrading meanwhile. But till it takes 48 hours, I think, so it's still another day. And then we will have the boost generator ready, and then it requires super water, which you can craft in here, this thing here. Together with sugar, you can make moonshine. And then the moonshine you can sell for 400,000 on PVE, and or you can use it in the scav case, which we need a few more gold chains and golden skulls, and then we can build that thing as well. And then we're done with hideout. Then it's just a matter of crafting and start making some money from it. We invested a lot in it, but from that moment you can make a lot of it. Over here we are crafting, we do a rotational Propital SJ1 from time to time, a blue belt in between, and then SJ6s. We'll do a whole rotation. I craft the Propitals, which gives you 4 Propitals, and then with that you can make 5 of these SG6s. Then you do that again, and then you can make in total 20 SJ6 in total. They're going during the night somewhere around 120. During the day, somewhere between 80, 90,000 and 110. So if you sell them in the night for 120, then that whole 20 SJ6 rotation thing that we are doing is about 2.5 million passive money coming in. Nothing to do with playing the game. It's just crafting overnight, and it will result in 2.5 million every time you do 20 SJ6s. But we don't have room for 20 SJ6s at the moment. We still need another med case, which we can easily get from her, I think. Yeah, healthcare part 5. We drop some of that blue gunpowder in factory, and we have a med case. And now we can do, because we will, these are stims that we are using, ETG, Propital, Blue Bot, Zagustin, and a 2BTG, and then a mule. Those are the ones that I'm running. It's like emergency healing or normal healing. Emergency bleed stopper plus antidote for cultists, and also normal blood stoppers. And then we have a mule, which is 50% weight reduction, or this thing here, which is 15% weight reduction. This is a baby mule, basically, the 2BTG. If you're a bit too overweight, you can pop this. If you're really overweight, you can pop a mule. If you have a few bleeds at once, you can pop a Zagustin, it will stop it. The Perfotoria does the same, but this one is also anti-toxication and anti-radiation. Radiation, not really in the game yet, but toxication it is. There are events where you can be toxic, and you can also get stabbed by the cultist with their poisonous knife. Then this thing also helps, I think. But only for 60 seconds. So then you probably still have to pop an XTGG12, which is the antidote for the cultist thing. And then all the rest, yeah, what do they even do? AHF1, what does it even do? Who knows? This also prevents bleeds. This is something like more or less like a Zagustin, but then this one also recovers your hydration. It stops and prevents bleeds for 60 seconds, and it stops them, and it also prevents them for opening up the wound again. So yeah, the HF1 pretty much the same as a Perfotorman and a Zagustin, but the Perfotora or the Blue Bot is still the best though, because this is also an antidote, while the other two are not. 3BTG. This has something to do with stamina or something, I think. Oh yeah, this gives you for 240 seconds or 4 minutes, it gives you plus 30 skills on attention and perception and strength, plus 10 levels on strength, 30 levels on perception and attention. So what does that mean? If you pop one of those boys, that means that your attention, which we have here level 15, 30 levels extra, that will make it level 45. That means that you can hear people coming from the other side of the map, pretty much. Attention and perception have to do with hearing. It's confusing as well, though, because you might be on the east wing of the resort, let's say, and you hear somebody opening a box on the west wing of resort. That's if you have elite attention or perception. That's pretty much what it. You need to get used to that if you ever get that. At some point in time, we could test that. At some point in time, they made they gave us like a character, some event or something. It was like end of the wipe, some event for like a week or so where they gave us like maximum skills, which was kind of crazy. There are many of them where you need to get used to. And then it is sort of filling up wherever we have these things sitting. Huh? Guess I need to stop crafting super waters because we have a lot, and we are still crafting emergency waters as well. Of course, we can sell them. Are they selling for a decent price? 250,000 if we sell 10. This thing should also go in here. There we go. We use those to craft moonshine whenever the station is ready. And then we have a Perfotorm crafted, which means the Zagustin can go. That's pretty much how we do it. Because the Perfotorm is a better Zagustin. And then these kind of things, these were used to do all these crafts. So these are crafting tools in a way. You do the craft, you get them back. But you do need them to do the craft. And then the Zagustin can go to Therapist. 21, Market. 25 minus fee comes down to the same thing. Can as well sell it to the Therapist. Unless you're really worried, but yeah, we have Unheard Edition, so we're not really worried about flea market slots. If you have the Unheard Edition, you start with 5 slots. So you can put 5 things at once up on the market. If you have standard, that is only 3. So, and then you need to work it up. We have 4.25 flea rep. You need to go to 7 to get an extra slot. And then it's 30. And then it's 60, and then it's 150, 200, 250, 500, 750, 1000, something like that. With a maximum of 16 slots available. For the Unheard and 15 slots for the standard, I think. I don't think there's, maybe in PVE, somebody might be there, but I don't think ever anybody got that high. Because what is 1 point flea market rep is basically 5 million sold. So in this case, I have 4.25. That means that I have sold 20 million on things on the market. So yeah, that means that if you sell 1,000 rep, that means you have to be selling 5 billion rubles of value on the market. Don't think, maybe in PVE it might be possible. But outside of PVE, no way. No way ever anybody does that. The highest I've been and then I've sold it a lot was somewhere 40 something or something. So usually I get the 7 flea market and I get the 30. So that gives me like 2 extra slots. Then I have 7 or 8 slots available on the flea market. There's not much you can do about that. Filling that up, I mean, it's like selling 8, 9 things at the same time, because very often you're putting up things and by the time you're on your 6th or 7th item putting up on the market, there are already 5 of them sold. So putting 10 things at the same time on the market, then yeah, then you need to put up like some things which are not selling that easily. Marksroom keys, key cards or something like that. I like these things, yeah. Blue here or something, right? Or this thing here, what is this? About 500,000. Yeah, they all came down. The same with the colored key cards on. Yeah, they came down. There used to be a few millions, all of them, but they were. They didn't spawn that often. Now they spawn more often. They did not have any uses limitation. Now they do. You can only use them 10 times, so that already brought them down in value. Normally, all the colored key cards were up to 2, 3, 4, 5 million, and then the red was usually 15 million or 10 million or something. But now they all have 10 users, they all came down in value. Which is a good thing, because now everything is on the market every time. A couple of wipes ago, there were certain things which were never on the market. They were always sold out. Because if they came up, somebody, usually who was cheating, they had lots of money, they bought all those cards, and then there were none available on the market. But that is one of these anti-cheat measurements that they've done. They put uses on the cards, which makes it less interesting for RMT boys and so. And it works also for the rest of the community, because that means that we can actually get cards this time. I still need to buy a lot, but seeing that event was going on, We can't buy them yet, I think, now that I think of it, because... Let's have a look. We can buy this one. Can we buy all of them? These are Boreas is ice cream compartment C1. That's terminal, I think. No, that's also icebreaker. Yeah, there's two Boreas and the two compartment ones are both icebreaker. Okay, we can get that one. Okay. Okay, I guess it was level 30 for key cards. I thought I couldn't buy them yet. What are the black going for? 2.7 million. There's also barter trade for black, which is probably cheaper than this one. Blue is 500,000. Green is about 1 million. Okay. Red is 1.1. Violet, not even that much. 370. Yellow, 219. Okay. And then we have the residential, which is sort of orange, but that one spawns in the game. That has now 2 uses. That is also, I thought it was a 1-use key before, but might be wrong. And then we have this one, which is the polycom needed for the quest. This is actually not in labs. This is in factory. 2.5 million if you want a full use one. So yeah, before we buy all these cards, we will do some money runs, which we haven't done yet. But nevertheless, we're at 1.5 million. Overall stash value, 59 million. The ruble amount doesn't always tell everything. That means that in theory, if we sell everything in our stash, we have worth 59 million of value. That is in theory, that is based on trader prices, but you will never get trader prices. You will get like 50-60% of that price. So if it says 60 million, then you probably get somewhere between 35 and 45 million somewhere if you would actually sell everything. Which we have no intention of doing, of course. Oh yeah. You build up your hideout, you invest in that thing, and then you start crafting and you start looting, and then you start making money. We are still working on the hideout. Once the hideout is done, the money will only go up. And then we usually finish the wipe with somewhere between 100 and 150 million without pushing. If you want to push, you can get over 1 billion if you really want to. That is that. We'll leave it at this for episode 25. A lot of talking. We only played one raid, a scaff raid, but sort of to give you an idea where we are with our PVE character. How long we're going to play on it? Probably a few more days. That's it. Then we're going to switch to the PvP seasonal. And then get blasted and blow out of our feet from one corner to another. Because we have been playing a week or 2, 3 on PvE. You will see, once we get to the seasonal, things will go a bit differently. Also, the potting of some of these routes we took in PvE. That's not potting you can take in PvP because you will get shot out of nowhere. You don't know what's happening. Like I'm taking on certain places on woods or shoreline where we cross the open fields because we know where the PvE PMCs are spawning and we know they will not be on any other place, so we can just cross there. In PvP, you don't know where people are going, so they can be sitting after every corner, every bush, every tree. There could be somebody having a scope on your face, pretty much. That is the big difference, of course. It's a whole different ballgame. As you will see from next week on. We will probably suffer the first couple of raids because we're coming from PvE and we need to get back into the rhythm of PvP, which is a higher, more intense rhythm and in checking corners mainly. Now we're just chilling and we react if a PMC AI shoots you, then you react to it, right? If a PvP PMC shoots you, you will not react to it, then the story is over. Then you're back in the lobby. That's pretty much the difference. You still die, like here we don't care at all. We did not care at all in this playthrough. That also meanwhile we died like, what is it, 30 or 40% of the time. You can easily get, if you would care for any of those numbers, you could get your KD very high and you could get your extraction survival rate also very high if you want in PvE. But we don't care, we just try to get our quest done. Obviously, we got killed a few times by the bosses, got shot by some idiot sitting in a bush. In PvE, yeah, whatever. In PvP, you're gonna be a bit more careful, obviously. Especially now that there is, well, there's no insurance, that makes no difference. I never insured anyway. So for me, that's not a problem. Other people are panicking already, but, oh, no insurance. It is what it is. That's what you need to learn in Tarkov. It is what it is. But some people are still afraid to die or to lose their gear fear. Get over it. Just, it is what it is. Move on. Put a kit on, go back out. If you die, so be it. If you don't have good shit, that's fine. Then you go out with a pistol. If you don't have a pistol, fine. Then you go out with nothing and you go learn where the weapon crates are so you know that you can find a gun and you go 0 to hero. It's all works. It's all fine. It will go. Do a scav run. Try to extract with that scav gear and run it on your PMC in the next raid. All kind of things you can do. Some people are panicking because they don't have a bit of money or whatever. It can easily be solved. We'll see. We will see next week where this goes. Next week, what is it even? I still need to move it, I think. Here, right. This one here. Next week, we will leave this thing be for what it is. I'm not going to reset or something. We will leave it be. We might come back to it. Trying to finish all the quests. Escape from Tarkov itself, from Terminal, in other words. Maybe meet Lightkeeper. Maybe we complete that whole PvE character. We will see. I don't know yet. We'll see how far we get with the seasonal. As soon as that thing is up and running, we will play on this one. Also for this series, by the way. So that's why we did a bit of an overview where we are with this PvE character. It might be one of the last videos that you see from PvE before we switch to the seasonal. We will do a video about that, and or just purely streaming it on Twitch and then export the stream to YouTube. We will see. We will keep the series going. And it will be a mix between PvE and PvP seasonal, I think. And unless there is a link between PvP seasonal and your main character that we have to jump over, then we might also play that one. We will see. But I think most people will play just seasonal until the next season, reset, and do seasonal again. Unless there is something, for instance, prestiging or something that you have to go to your PvP main character for some reason, that you sort of jump from one to another. We will see. We don't know. It is the first season. The first time we will have seasonal. Nobody knows. We will see. The first season is called Code Breach and starts somewhere next week. That's all we know. Other than that, I know as much as you guys from whatever Nikita is tweeting, and not much more info known about it. I'm assuming there will be some patch notes in the beginning of the week. As soon as they do the maintenance, we will get more and more information as we go. As for now, I will leave it at this. End of episode 25. A big overview. We are approaching level 35 on our PvE character. We'll probably do an extra episode this afternoon. Maybe not an episode, but definitely a stream, which should make us go to level 35. Then we can buy some Markroom keys and so, and complete some other quests. Also story-wise. If it doesn't wipe on Monday or Tuesday, then we might do all of that lab stuff, which we have now been waiting for because of the event. We need to find all kind of things on labs for our hideout as well. So then we do some lab runs. We have a few lab access cards sitting, so we can definitely do that on our PvE account. Just cannot do it now with the Black Division running around there. We have no ammo or gear to fight these boys. So that would be a bit pointless, where we are just questing there. Questing with Black Division around, not ideal. Let's leave it at that. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.